Hello! I hope you're all having a wonderful day. My name is Ruthie, and I am here with you all from Flying Pig Farm in Manitou Springs, and I'm here to share with you a little bit about today's nutritional snack, microgreens. And I hope you all have a chance to come visit me here at Flying Pig Farm someday, whether that's on the computer or here in person, but I would love to introduce you sometime to the chickens and the ducks and the goats and the plants and the bees and the people of Flying Pig Farm. But let's get started talking a little bit about today's nutritional treat, which your teacher should have one container of microgreens. And let's figure out what is that word I'm saying, microgreens. So the word micro means very, very, very small. Micro, like a microscope. And so micro is the first part of the word, which means small. Greens, like the color green. You might notice not all of your microgreens may be green. Some of them may be purple. And that's just because plants like to keep us on our toes. They like to keep life a little interesting and colorful. And so let's try saying those words together. We're going to try to say microgreens together. So I'm going to do a countdown, and I'll say 3, 2, 1, and we'll all say it together. So let's try that. 3, 2, 1, microgreens. Let's try it one more time just to make sure everybody gets it. Microgreens on 3, 2, 1, microgreens. Awesome. So what are microgreens? Well, first let's talk about how plants grow. Where do most plants come from? Think about it in your head. Think about, how does a plant begin? How do we plant plants in our gardens or our homes? How do farmers plant plants? You might be thinking of a word in your head that starts with an S. Think a little bit longer. So where do plants begin? A plant begins, many of them begin, with a seed. And so I have some seeds in my hand here. These are wheat seeds. Wheat that makes bread, and also wheat can make microgreens. So how do we get from these tiny wheat seeds to these microgreens to eventually a very big wheat plant? How do we get from these tiny seeds to these plants? So we're going to talk about what a plant needs to grow. Let's think about that a little bit. What does a plant need to grow? What does it need in the environment? How does it get its nutrients? What does a plant need? Think about that a little bit. Think about it in your head. And I'm thinking of 4 things that a plant needs that we can talk about. The first one is where we put the seeds. So we put the seeds somewhere and they soak up nutrients from that place. This word also starts with an S. There are other names you might have for it too, but the word I'm thinking of is soil. And soil is one of the first things we need to grow these seeds to make these amazing microgreens. The second thing that I'm thinking of comes from above. Up in the sky, a big fiery orb. Can you guess it? It's the sun. So they need the soil and they need the sun to grow. And the third thing they might also find in nature, or if they're living in our house, like many microgreens, we can grow inside, and we in fact prefer to grow them inside. The third thing humans can help provide if they're growing inside. So what do you need to give to plants? Sometimes every day. It's also something that we need to give ourselves every day. We need to drink it, and the plants need to drink it too. So the third thing is water. And finally, last but not least, just your love and care and attention are the last thing that plants need in order to grow. So that's what takes this tiny seed allows it to take root, put roots into the ground, and to shoot up and stretch towards the sun and grow nice and tall and big and create some nutrients for itself and for us when we eat the plant. So now is the moment that I'm sure you've been very patiently waiting for. As a class, you're going to get to try some microgreens and give them a taste. You can take a little nibble to start with, or you can eat the whole tiny little plant at once. These microgreens were harvested with a scissors. They were cut and they were washed, so they're nice and clean, so you don't have to worry about there being dirt in there. And have your teacher read off the names of the plants from the container as you're receiving the microgreens to give them a taste. And I hope you really like them. Some of them taste very different from each other. Some of them are spicy, some of them are sweet, some of them just taste like plant. And I would love to hear what you all think, your descriptions of how you think the microgreens taste. A thumbs up if you really like them, a thumbs to the side if you're not so sure, and a thumbs down if you don't like it so much. Feel free to take a picture of your class with the microgreens and send it to me. And I really hope to see you all again soon, and good luck with those microgreens.